SCPs. Yeah, nah. This is the part 2 to the SCP tier list, okay? And I'm just going to spoil it right now. There's almost no way that I'm going to be able to hit every single one, because the SCP Foundation is the biggest collective writing project of all time. To give you guys the quick lore breakdown for anybody who's super new to the SCP Foundation, what it basically is around 15 or like 20 years ago, and the internet, when it was in its creepypasta era, decided to make something that was a little bit different. They basically created a writing project basically asking the question, what if there was a 3-letter organization that their whole job was to capture cryptids and save them from the general public, okay? Think of CIA capturing Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, and literally everything that you can think of, bro. We have SCPs that are just an unlimited bucket to the literal embodiment of the devil from the Bible, okay? That is how far this can go. With over 30,000 canon creatures, and I believe we're ranging on like 50 to 100,000 non-canon creatures, storylines, and all that. This is a big beast. I've done everything from Trevor Henderson, cryptids. I've covered a good amount of scary stuff on this channel. And I've done an SCP tier list in the early days of my channel. And I know this is a part 2, but that video is not up to the standard of quality that I think this channel is starting to ascend to because of the help that you guys and support you guys have given this channel. Think of this as a spiritual remaster of the SCP tier list, and I might cover some of the ones that I covered in part 1. But no, you don't need to watch part 1 to understand this video, but if you want to watch a few other ones from the early days of this channel, there's going to be a link to that video in the description down below. I have picked some of the SCPs that you guys have given my channel on the community page, and here are some of my favorites and fan favorites. And now, I already know this is a long-winded intro, so I'm going to end it right now. Please consider a like, comment, subscribe. It means a lot to the channel. 50K by the end of the year. We are on track to do that. And with all that out of the way, let's get into the SCP tier list. SCP-6448, Not Deer. I really like this one, okay? No. For the most part, I have tried to keep away from, like, reading on in these SCPs before I do the video because I do think the reaction to it is a bit better. But I know about SCP Not Deer, and I really like this one. Okay, description. SCP-6448, I'm just going to call it Not Deer because the numbers get really annoying, is an anomalous branch of the Surveillate family. All members of this group display heightened intelligence and presumed to be sapient. Many specimens exhibit a form of physical malformation, causing them to stand out from non-anomalous deer. While the exact details of the physical abnormalities differ between instances, repeat commonalities are as follows. Legs bent backwards, barrel-chested, bloated abdomen, emaciation, eyes belonging to an unrelated animal, forward-facing eyes, jerky movements, loss of fear towards humans, tendency to walk on 2 hind legs, and general body disfigurement. Let me tell you something, okay? And this photo really does not do it justice, because if you've been around deer do weird shit. I'm just gonna tell you this. I'm a Michigan boy. I know I say that a lot, but in this video it actually does kind of make sense. We have the largest deer population by capita. The only state that has more deer than we do by number is Texas, who literally had to fly them in to match our numbers. We have 1.7 million deers because we got rid of all the predators. Whoopsie-doo. But guess what? We also have super long hunting seasons. Deer do a lot of weird stuff. And the reason that I really like this one is the thought that a deer can masquerade as, like, a predator. Okay? Like, I'll just be walking through, like a trail that we have, like in my backyard. I'll be walking through, like, that trail. And then I'll be seeing in a distance, like, we're like a football field away. And whether the deer realize it or not, it's looking directly at me, and it's just a matter if it realizes it's doing that. Deer know how to spot you out, okay? And the thought that a deer with just like that, like, its perception of where you are at almost all times based off its survival, imagine if that was based off yours, imagine if a deer was a predator. That's why I like this one. I like the added, it might be an emaciated animal. Eyes, like, put forward like a predator. I I almost kind of like, and they're going to get into this. I've already read parts of this. This is going to look like chronic wasting disease. And if you don't remember that, that was like a huge worry for a second up here, because you basically just have zombie deer, which is terrifying that that's a real thing in the animal kingdom. But let's get into it. This is going to already take a while. Aside from physical disfigurement, instances show severe divergence from the behavior of other cervids. I'm so sorry if I say that wrong. Namely, not deer are known to watch, observe, and stalk humans often for hours or days, and includes following humans to and from their homes, wherein they will proceed to steal belongings, weapons, and food. Very rarely will not deer attack victims while they are indoors. Okay, that's scary, but for whatever reason, that kind of makes me laugh. Imagine a deer just like it jumps through your window, and instead of being like, yo, what's going on? He's like, and then he just runs into your kitchen and starts grabbing steak knives. Like nobody's gonna believe you, but that is kind of like a funny idea. I think we are going to take a step into like the zombie, I think this is going to be an intelligent deer. I don't know why. The thought that it like can stalk its victims like a hunter would stalking a normal like deer, and it's doing it to get supplies for something. Not deer are commonly encountered in deep woodland, particularly at night or dusk when a person is alone. Any form of direct acknowledgement of not deer's anomalous traits in these situations will always result in a victim's termination. In such situations, personnel are to observe and extract of a service protocol attached to this file immediately. See below. Okay, so we got a protocol, okay? History. Not deer are officially assigned anomalous classifications in 1980. Though they have been recognized by local people since 1947, not deer is a firmly cemented figure in the Appalachian folklore. So yeah, that's why he wasn't in the cryptid tier list. Known colloquially as not deer due to their striking similarity to the species they imitate. Many locals claim to have been encountered of not deer or possess knowledge of an individual who has. The majority of local communities living in rural areas of high activity are aware of the precautions required to avoid hostile encounters, primarily due to urban legends and stories involving the entities. This is what I like this from the SCP Foundation. I like that they'll take like a folklore creature and they'll like mold it into, oh yeah, no, he's on our watch list, dog. Like he killed like 47 people last year, and we kind of like have to put people in these Appalachian towns and like give them stories of this cryptid, but we'll like sprinkle in like the actual things that you have to do to stay away from them. I really like that. I like that they like repurpose old folklore. Not deer were previously researched at Site 41, located in Redacted, North Carolina. On November 1st, 1994, a group of 3 not deer instances broke into a site utilizing a tunnel system carved over an extended period of time. This triggered containment breach alarm systems, and site entered a lockdown protocol. The single instance kept in containment, being prepared for dissection, was lost in the breach and not recovered. Over the following decade, further 5 not deer instances would be captured and contained, all of which would escape the site through tunnels carved by other not deer entities. The decision was made to transfer all instances of Site 44 overseas to prevent further breaches. I really like that, actually. The thought that, like, they all serve, like, a hive mind entity, and that's, like, it's less that they are their own thing, and they're just drones serving a hive mind, and, like, they're assimilating, like, whitetail, like, biomass. Because nobody's going to look twice at seeing a deer in a field. Nobody's going to look twice at that. In fact, they might look at it and be like, oh, that's cool. But the thought that it can't quite get the mannerisms down and instead like almost has like a failed imitation of what a whitetail does, that's really interesting to me. I actually really like that. That earns it up quite a bit, I'm not gonna lie. Recently recorded civilian encounters and first reports of I'm not going to do the SCP. Not deer surfaced around a week of July 7, 1947. In the time since the genus discovery, many members of the public have encountered entities, though most accidentally stumbling upon them do not alert local authorities. This is typically due to not deer's instance either merely watching the subject or becoming hostile. The following log of old recorded 911 calls related to not deer phenomena since the year 2000. How many? I don't want to do all of these, because that's a lot, but I do want to do some of these. Okay, let's start with 2000. Victim, age 41 female, dialed emergency services after hearing their name being called from the woods near their home. Let's go. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know that the scariest thing that animals do is that they can imitate human speech. Let me tell you something, dude. I didn't know crows can do that, okay? Crows can imitate human speech to the point that, like, in old, like, Norse legends, they used to believe that Odin would message his followers through ravens, okay? And I didn't know that until so they will learn how to say hello. Imagine you're walking through the woods and you hear like a messed up, like almost like somebody has like a breathing tube in after smoking like a 5 packs of cigarette a day for 20 years. And you just hear, hello. Fuck that, dude. The thought that, like, now this creature is now, like, dipping its way into imitating human speech, getting them into the woods? Okay. I'm down. The victim recounts the vocalization being likened to a scream in a voice that they did not recognize and requested assistance in locating the source. And the emergency personnel requested the subject place their phone on the floor outside the home to listen to the alleged sounds. After 2 minutes, a vocalization was heard that was calling to the subject by name. Ooh. Okay, so that means there's an intelligent thought behind it. There's one thing imitating something that you heard, but to know the name of the victim you're trying to get, that's just an extra layer that I dig. The subject was instructed to investigate the disturbance themselves and keep services updated on the situation. The victim then begins to walk into the woodlands, getting about 50 meters into the underbrush before inexplicably stopping. What an asshole, bro. They claim that there be a noticeably large deer standing in the way of a path. She begins to walk closer, though states it does not move. Subject diverts from the path and begins walking in a different direction. After 30 minutes, no source of the voice is determined, and the caller returns to their residence. Ooh, okay, we're gonna do another one. We're doing another one. I really like that. Victim, age 28, male. Okay, so now they're graduating, so I feel like they wanted to test out, like, if they could do this on, like, an older woman. Now they're going to do a young 28 male. A young male calls 911 regarding a home break-in. The caller notes numerous items to be missing from their residence and requests an investigation and perpetrator. The pair note that, based on the earlier CCTV images, old cutlery, sharp objects, firearms, light bulbs, and a single copy of the novel, The Day After Roswell, are missing. Why that book? Okay. I'm intrigued. Also noted is that there is a complete lack of any fingerprints at the scene. No doors or windows have been broken into. Analysis of the home CCTV revealed that there are a 2-hour period of missing film, with the exception of a single frame containing not deer on its hind legs reaching towards the camera. Its frontal hooves have been warped to resemble fingers. No footage of the entity existing in the home was discovered. Okay. I understand that's meant to be scary, but the thought that, like, I'm gonna see if I can do it. Imagine, like, I'm a deer. Like, that's more funny. Okay, the next one has to be a banger, otherwise I'm done. Okay. The cattle farmer, aged 54 male, reported in local authorities that a sudden disappearance of over 30% of its largest herd. What? Response teams searched the nearby area of 4 hours, though found no trace of the cattle. The victim was recommended to set up trail notes and note any unusual activity overnight. At 1:11 a.m., 2 not deer are seen walking through the field before fleeing. One places an object into the tree, later discovered to be a single fork. A week after this discovery, 2,000 discarded bovine hooves appear at the location. Ooh, okay. How many more do we got? Okay. But we can do two more, and then we're done. But I'm actually getting interested in this. Okay, let's do it. Victim aids unknown, gender unknown. Dials 911 to request assistance from an animal services. The victim stood within a forest in front of not deer, which is violently contorting. The animal is repeatedly ramming itself into a tree, covered in blood and viscera. The victim begins to state, "You'd better get a vet or something." I'm gonna do the voice. You better get a vet or something, man. I don't think it's well. It's just fucking 21-year-old Kyle who just got done hitting a fat vape right before it's like, yo, yeah, bro, there's like a fucking deer, man. He's like ramming himself into like this, bro. It's wild, dude. I don't know why, that 100% that's what I think happened. Before a piercing screech is heard and the line falls silent. Okay. Recovered footage depicts the aforementioned animal squirming, seemingly in pain. A viscous churning is audible as a black mass erupts out of the instance and a video turns to static. Okay, so it is killing whitetail and implanting something inside of them. However, I gotta do this. Yo, yeah, you better get the vet or something, bro. Like, this is just somewhat like, whoa, what the fuck? And then dead. Immediately dead. You just hear that last little scream. You never sees him again. Okay, one more, 2012, and then we'll move on. We got lots to get to. Victim aids 23 male is a junior wildlife officer at the Cherokee National Forest, Tennessee. The radio that their supervisor in early evening regarding a herd of deer within the reserve. Supposedly there is a single animal that upon first glance appears average, though possesses divergent attributes including backwards joints, an enlarged abdomen, a forward-facing eyes. Upon stating this, and distant whistling is audible and the victim stumbles slowly. They begin to say, "What the? Did he just whistle at me?" Before the sound of hooves rapidly getting closer. Notably, the hoof steps did not sound to be in a traditional gallop or... Dude. Okay, this is a part 2. The aforementioned victim supervisor calls authorities following the victim's absence from the reserve night shift. Following, their radio begins to crackle. A victim voice can be heard on the other end and requests the supervisor's attention. He calls regarding a herd of deer within the reserve. They claim that there is a single animal that upon the first glance appears average, though possesses divergent attributes including backwards joints, an enlarged abdomen, forward-facing eyes. Suspecting the creature to be a weird genetic malformation, the victim requests that their supervisor come to the location. The supervisor questions the victim about what happened the night previous, but there is no reply. Upon the supervisor's and law enforcement's arrival at the site, a herd of approximately 80 deer was present. The single entity of the field center appeared to be standing separately from the rest of the group. It flees the scene upon realizing the law enforcement's presence, where it firmly stood laid on Parker Ranger's standard two-way radio. Ooh, I really like that. So it was trying to get the supervisor to come back, but when it saw that like the police were coming and it realized that it probably wasn't going to be able to take it out, because it says it was alone. There wasn't like multiple instances of it. So what that tells me is it can be taken out by normal, like, ballistic means, but it's like a smart hunter trying to separate people from... I like that. Okay, I don't want to do another one, but if you want me to do, like, more readings of that, I'm open to that, because that was fun. A tier. I really like that. Now, do I think it's kind of silly that it breaks into people's houses and steals cutlery and weapons? Yeah, that's kind of stupid, but... I really like the idea that there is like a super predator that is trying to imitate us to separate us from a group, and it does whatever it does with us. And it uses whitetail, a prey of ours, to get us. Like, I dig that. I like the mimicking. I really like this creature. A tier, I think that's perfectly valid. SCP-939 with many voices. Okay, a lot of you guys requested this one, and I'm gonna be real. I'm fairly new to the SCP lore, but I've heard of this because I believe this was one of the main villains of the SCP Foundation game series. I really do think, I think it was from Control Breach. But hey, I don't want to say too much. SCP-3 939, okay, I'm gonna say with many voices. Also known as with many voices are a hostile species within the SCP Foundation series. They are quadrupedal monsters who lack eyes and several vital organs and hunt various animals, including humans, by luring through voice mimicry. Okay, instant point voice mimicry. I really like it. I think, I don't want to keep on saying this, but I like voice mimicry. I think that's cool. The vocals of With Many Voices in the Containment Breach video game was provided by the Volgan Duke Loves You and It's Duke. If you guys wonder where I got a lot of my stuff for this video, it was the Volgan. A lot of you guys recommended that after the last video because I did SCP Explained. Good channel, but a lot of you guys were mad that I didn't do the Volgan, and I was watching the Volgan for some of these and actually reading the SCP wiki. So yes. That's another reason that this is kind of a softcore reboot, because I've changed my way of looking into these, and I think this is already going better than last time. Appearance. The exact appearance of With Many Voices can vary most of the time. However, there have been a few designs that have been used to represent the beast over the years. The original SCP Foundation article in SCP-939 describes them as large creatures with red, moist, and translucent skin that measures 2.2 meters tall and have an average weight of about 250 kilograms. Give us pounds, you non-American fool. Has 4 digits on each of their limbs, with their hands and feet having 4 digits, with 3 of the digits on both of their hands being fingers. That end in Sark claws alongside a 4th similarly clawed digit that serves as the opposing thumb. With Many Voices have 3 of these digits, both on their feet, serve as toes, with a 4th one is inopposable in a similar way. So it has hands. Okay, so just say that. That's my one difficult part, is because they're so into, this is the way to say it, the LARP of it, they have to, overly scientifically, state everything. It has thumbs with sharp claws. That's what I got, okay. They have elongated heads that in place of eyes or eye sockets, they have special pit organs that are sensitive to heat and run up to their jaws. And their skulls has no brain casing. The jaws of With Many Voices are filled with red, luminescent, and pointy teeth that measure 6 centimeters in length. On their spine, they have spiky dorsal ridges that are 16 centimeters long, run down their backs, just like a pit of organs, and their heads of the back ridges of With Many Voices are very sensitive but to light and darkness. Lack several basic organs found in regular animals, such as a circulatory, digestive, and nervous system. Ooh. Okay. I'm in. Okay, let's go to powers and abilities. This is already going to be a long video. With Many Voices are pack-based predators covered in sensitive organs and spines. They lack many vital organs, yet live without the need of them. They do not possess a digestive system and so no apparent need to feed, despite the lack of these systems. With Many Voices still feeds and are able to give birth to live young. Okay, so probably a mammal-type creature. Okay. I don't know where they're going with no digestive tract. That's cool, but, you got to elaborate on that. That's all I'm saying. You got to elaborate on no digestive tract, because that also implies that it has a different way of siphoning off protein. That's my immediate thought. With Many Voices hunt by mimicking the sound of human voices, usually the voices of prior victims. They can also mimic other consumed creatures as well. With Many Voices use the voice to cry out for help or sound in distress, lure prey to them, and then kill the victim with a single bite to the neck or head. Okay. Okay, I need a little bit more. I need a little bit more on this. With Many Voices use the respiratory system not for breathing, but to release a gaseous anesthetic and hallucinogen designated AMN-C227, which disorients and causes a brief loss of memory formation in subjects that breathe it in. This happens only when a human victim survives With Many Voices attacks, regardless whether they are injured or not. This causes the victim to lose memory of the encounter, and also the attack with the pack of them. Instances roaming caves and will cause the victim either head back to the same den they escaped from for a completely different one. Ooh, okay. I do like that. The thought that there's, a creature that, the gas that, I don't want to say venom because it's not venom, but it emanates, a gas that makes you forget that you ever got attacked by it. Now, if I'm, missing a chunk of my forearm, I'm not going anywhere near the woods. I'm just gonna say that. If I'm missing a chunk of my forearm, I'm not gonna be like, ah! I'm like, no, bro, I'm gonna be freaking the fuck out. No. I ain't going anywhere near the woods. So that's a little bit meh for me. Alternatively, when a human victim inhales the gas, they survive the specimens that they encounter, they will receive an extremely powerful hallucination that will cause them to hallucinate and mistake anything resembling the color red. Ooh, so it causes like a PTSD in the creature, in like whatever human it attacks. I like that. Typically, female variants instances give birth to a litter of 12. Okay, so they're like a muscly coyote creature. Newborn instances genotypically resemble human infants inside and out and possess an intelligence level on par with a human child. However, upon becoming a juvenile, a young variant instance will shed and consume its own skin and head, revealing that it's a fully developed adult features. Juveniles, after setting, resemble a smaller versions of the creature. However, they will still retain some intelligence and that their adult counterparts lack. Ooh, that's really cool. I really like that. Oh, okay. I was gonna sound like I'm glazing, bro, but okay. So the design of the creature starts out as like a human build. And it's like a human baby, but when it starts getting into like toddler to like 10 years old, it starts ripping off its skin and consumes that almost like a, I really like that. And like the spines that grow out of its back is almost like a bird, like breaking out of its egg cell. So it's just breaking out of it. I really like that actually. It saved it. It saved itself. It was about to go in C or D. But that last little bit, B tier, dude. It reminds me of like the thought that like a wasp, right? A wasp will like eat the larva of a bumblebee and then lay its own larva inside of the bee nest, and then that larva will grow up and eat the mother bee. This, I can already think of a story for this. Boom, you find a baby in the woods and you're like, oh no. And then you pick up this baby, you raise it, and then all of a sudden it starts fucking mutating, and then boom, eats the family. That's an admittedly a cool concept that I want somebody to introduce. Yo, SCP filmmakers, get on that immediately. B tier, it was about to go in C. I'll be real. No digestive tract. I need that to be explained, okay? No nervous system so it doesn't feel pain. Cool. I need a little bit more out of it. I need a little bit more, and it would have gone in A tier. But dang, bro, that's cool. That is cool. I'm not gonna lie. SCP-3000, or simply known as the Eel. The Eel is a major character in the SCP series that is a sea monster which is implied to be one of the old gods and brother of the serpent from the Wanderer's Library. Its anomaly class is Thamule. So, like, if you guys are curious what they mean by classification, in the SCP fandom, there is 3 to 4 different classifications. There's a few out of there, but like there is like basically safe. There is, man, I am like really okay. Basically, what you need to understand is the higher the safety rating or lower it is, the harder they are to contain. A lot of them are Keter, which means the SCP Foundation cannot contain them. What this means is it is so big that there is no way, and they're basically at the mercy of this creature at all times. It was originally an entry for the SCP-3000 contest, which won first place, earning the post of SCP-3000. It plays a central role in the Atzek series. Okay, there's a lot that we have to get to in that, but we'll get into that later. Okay. SCP-3000 is a massive aquatic serpentine entity that strongly resembles a great moray eel. The full size of SCP-3000 is impossible to determine, but it is estimated to be roughly between 600 and 300 kilometers in length. Its head measures roughly 2.5 meters in diameter. Meters? Really? In diameter, and sections of its body are as large as 10 meters in diameter. With interacting with Calvin Lucian, Adam Ivanov, SCP-3000 took the appearance similar to its brother in a humanoid shape, but other than that is unknown at all. So it is like a... Okay. So it went from being something that I thought was like a Jormungandr creature, because they also play on like Jormungandr, to this was like an old god from like a forgotten religion, okay? SCP-3000 is typically a sedentary creature, only moving its head during feeding or response to stimuli. While its body rarely moves at all, despite this, it moves extremely quickly to kill its prey. SCP-3000 appears to have a psychic ability, as demonstrated when a Foundation agent named Williams was exposed to it and began smashing his head against a submarine window before dying while whispering, "There's nothing," as it eats its prey. It excretes a black substance known as Y909, what the Foundation uses to make anesthetics. Dog. Okay, we got some quotes. I believe SCP-3000 is Anantasasa. Believe that this aberration, this treachery against cognition, is a result of us being in the presence of a god. Ooh, I like that. I really do like that. I did not think that the eel was anesthesia. I'm sorry. I did not think it would matter if it was, but it is clear to me now, as I feel myself coming apart, is not that the eel is some mythological creature or a divine serpent. Perhaps it's just a primitive creature that eluded us, holding no malice. Perhaps it really is a primordial deity, harboring recent beneath the surface. The eel is not the harbinger of my demise or humanity's doom. The eel is not the end of all things. It only shows us what the end looks like. Ooh, I like that. Also, that's just terrifying, dude. Deep water, megalophobia. Okay. Is it an S tier? No. B tier? Yeah, I'll put it at the top of B. Top of B, I think that's valid. It beat out with many voices. I like that it goes above it just being like just a big eel. No. It's like an ancient god-level entity that humanity has thus forgotten. I really like that concept. I've brought that up in a few videos. I really like that. I'm down. SCP-4999. Description. SCP-4999 is a humanoid entity of unknown origins and composition. Its physical appearance varies, with the dark, formal wear being the only constant without manifestation. Due to the rarity of the recorded instances, manifestation events and highly specific circumstances in which they occur. Little data concerning its nature or intent is available, however, its behavior is consistent across all recorded sightings. Because I have an idea of what this is, I'm going to call SCP-4999 for the remainder of this one, just so I don't lose my mind. Death. I'm gonna call it death, okay? Death will manifest only in the presence of one solitary human person at a time. All subjects recorded to date have been in terminally poor health, critically injured, or on their deathbeds, with death appearing nearby within sight of the individual not more than 20 minutes before their expiration. Death will only appear if the subject is conscious and alone, and will not appear if the subject is comatose, asleep, or unconscious. Nor will it appear if they are being cared for by, in the company, or otherwise being directly observed by another person. Upon manifestation, the entity will seat itself directly adjacent to the subject's bed, if such furniture is available. If not, it will remain standing or sit on the floor, ground, or whatever configuration will allow it to direct physical access to the subject without causing disturbance. Once situated, it will remove a pack of cigarettes from its left inside jacket pocket, offer one to the subject. If the subject accepts, Death will place it between their lips, remove one for itself, and light both. If the subject declines, Death will light smoke the cigarette instead, and the entity will make physical contact with the subject, typically holding their hand, placing a hand atop theirs, or resting on the hand of their shoulder. Okay. I'm interested. I'm getting interested in this. Death will remain with the subject, silent and unmoving, until they have passed away. It has not been seen to engage in any other activity or behavior, and demanifest immediately upon the subject's death. The subject's cigarette, however, will remain providing the only physical evidence of death's presence, dude. Okay. The subject thus far has been seen to recoil from or otherwise resist the entity, not have any attempt to engage it in a conversation, despite multiple instances of subjects acknowledging the entity's presence via eye contact. Adjusting posture to reciprocate or facilitate the entity's touch, breaking into tears when noticing its presence, or verbally thanking the entity when offered a cigarette. Individuals affected by death share a number of common attributes. Research in identified subjects have indicated that death is more likely to appear if the individual is living alone, is non-religious, is improvised or is impoverished or homeless, displays a history of mental illness, is a military veteran, has no criminal record or has been convicted of a violent crime, has no currently surviving family, is unmarried or otherwise lacks a significant other, has little to no social standing in their community, does not exhibit any record of significant professional or personal accomplishments, has few to no mutually beneficial interpersonal relationships. Okay, we're almost done. Or exhibits qualities of life history that rendered the individual nondescript, anonymous, neglected, or otherwise unremarkable and insignificantly by the standards of their respective society. No testing involving death have been authorized or attempted due to the available data indirectly in the observations of the subject precludes that the manifestation as well as ethical concerns. Discovery. Death was initially discovered as a result of an emergent status of an urban legend with footage of the entity appearing in a hospital security cameras worldwide being disseminated via the internet and various television programs. The minor disinformation program was put into effect and maintained its public image. Death was officially registered as November 27th, 1998. In the years following Death's classification, additional research and cross-referencing with accounts of similar phenomena have suggested that while concrete evidence of SCP-4999 appearance has become more commonplace due to the advent of photography and video recordings, technology in the modern era, writings and artistic depictions of the figure and similar properties, behavior, and physical resemblance to death exist throughout world history, culture, and mythology, and have some accounts been thousands of years old, in some cases predating human civilization. Okay, so it's basically the Grim Reaper giving you like a little pity hangout session. He wants to be around people that were like good people, because he also says that if you have a criminal background, and I would assume it's like violent crimes, because I feel like if I litter and now the Grim Reaper doesn't want to hang out with me, bro, come on. But I think he wants to hang around people that would be classified as good people, but for whatever reason for another, either they're down on their luck, have lost all their loved ones. He is the last little bit of like companionship that you have for death, and he's merely there to guide you to that last little bit of afterlife. There's been a lot of personifications of like death, the Grim Reaper, like all throughout fiction. And in my mind, when I think of like a personification of death, I less think of like a dude wearing a cloak and having like a scythe. And in all honesty, I think if I had to like personify him, I think he's more of like a dude that he'll just like, like hand on your shoulder and is more or less like, listen, brother, you lived a good life. Okay, you did. You made some mistakes, but guess what? Everybody makes mistakes. And, you got nobody here, but hey, you got 20 minutes left and you're going to find everybody that you've ever known in the afterlife. Okay? You got 20 more minutes, brother. You got any questions for me? And he's like giving you like the tutorial, like the orientation of how things are going to go. And he's just providing you like that last little bit of companionship that is needed in that last 20 minutes of life. Sorry I got deep for a second, but I like this one, but I'm not putting it in B, A. I think C tier. I think C tier is perfectly valid for this one. It's a nice sentiment. The thought that the personification of death wants to do a pity hangout session for those that have lost everybody that they love. Almost it's like he took so much away from you through death that he wants to like let you know, like, listen, man, it's nothing personal. I'm sorry I had to do what I had to do, but listen, man, you got 20 more minutes and you're going to see him again. Like that's how I think that conversation goes. I really like that. C tier. I think that's good. SCP-439 or the Bone Hive. I've heard of this one, and I'm just going to let you know right now, this one's probably the most... This one, I'm not going to spoil it. Let's just get into this. They are collectively a species of Euclid-class insects-like creatures which turn living bodies into hives made of bone. Oh, okay. Behavior and procedure. I'm just going to call it the Bone Hives, not SCP-439. I'm sorry, I've already done it so far. Bone Hive are a species of insect-like creatures resembling earwigs. Oh no! They have an abdominal forceps capable of delivering painful pinches. However, they become lethal when a queen enters the human body. through the mouth when the victim is sleeping. Oh no. Oh no. This is gonna be a tough read. I already know, man. Oh, okay, let's get it. This is the reason I don't eat breakfast, man. Humans are the only subject of the Bone Hive will use. All other species offered have been rejected. Once inside, the SCP will crawl down the subject's trachea and rest within the lungs. Oh, no. Upon awakening, the subject will complain of a tightness in their chest, a shortness of breath, followed shortly by abdominal cramping. Subjects will then attempt to seek out dark, enclosed spaces for privacy. It is then that the SCP activates the onset of fibrodysplasia ossificans. Oh, I'm so sorry. The progressa, a usually genetic disease that causes... Oh, I heard about this. So what this does is it converts like the muscle and tendons of your body and causes like calcium to leach onto the muscle. It basically fossilizes you alive, which is... that's terrifying, bro. That's a real picture of people that die of this disease. Their muscle is literally getting like calcified in their body. You are becoming a living fossil. Oh, okay. Let's get. We're getting through this. I've moved on too far. A usually genetic disease that causes the growth of bones and muscle tissue. The type used by the Bone Hive occurs rapidly, causing immense pain in the subject and resulting in bones protruding from the victim's flesh. Oh, come on, just get through this. After approximately 3 days, it takes 3 days. The subject will be rendered immobile, as the bones will have enveloped their muscles and bone anchors will have been secured them to their environment. Oh, so it just So you're like in the fetal position, and then it shoots out like little bone anchors that like are serrated, and they dig into the floor so you can't move. So you're like stuck in this like fetal position. Oh, I hate this one, dude. I hate this one, but in a good way. Okay. After approximately 3 days, the subject will be rendered immobile, as the bone will have enveloped their muscles and anchors to them to their environment. The skeleton will be sifted and manipulated into a spherical shape. The original SCP that entered the body will serve as the Hive Queen, giving birth to over 30,000 offspring to serve as drones, workers, and warriors. With only the queen capable of reproduction, these offspring are harmless save the pincers on the or the warriors. The Bone Hive colony will serve then salvage the host eternal organs as flesh is food and egg incubation sources. So you are used as a living breeding factory for this absolute demon spawn of a creature. Hell, bro. This is hell. While keeping major systems intact to preserve their hive. So it's keeping you alive as long as possible so you can continuously like make more nutrition for them. Experiments done around this point by the Foundation, scientists revealed that it's not only is the host still alive during this, please. Don't go where I think we're going with this. Please don't go where I think we're going. But examining the eyes before they were eaten revealed that they were still followed light sources and movement, confirming that the victim is also aware during... This is hell. This is what the... What the... No. After approximately 4 to 6 months, a new queen will emerge from and mate with a drone. At this point, the colony systematically kills itself off. Oh no. The SCP's abandoning the nest and soon dying outside of it. The new queen will then wander out and search for a new host. Research has shown that even after all of this, victims can remain alive and usually die due to starvation as opposed to the immeasurable damage done to their bodies. What the fuck is this, bro? What am I reading, dog? The Bone Hive specimens are kept at an arm... Burn them! Why are these alive? No! Appearance. The instances appear to resemble... A wasp hive, or a common earwig. They measure roughly 2.5 centimeters in length and have a translucent gray coloring. Many have pincers as well. Gallery. No. What? No. Oh my gosh, bro. You know what? Because that got such a visceral reaction out of me, I was not playing that up, bro. Like, if anybody's gonna say, oh, that sounded fake to me. Dog, it is a bug that crawls down your throat, lays 30,000 eggs in your lungs, and uses your digestive tract to break down the muscles in your body as you're basically being liquefied into a protein sludge for 30,000 bugs that are feasting inside of you while you're still conscious. And when it finally runs out of muscle mass to break through, it's going to start consuming your non-needed organs, only keeping your nervous system alive so you can feel it, your lungs because that's the hive and where it can get its oxygen from, your digestive tract to break down the sludge into like a protein curry. No, it's growing S tier. That's awful. Like, that might actually be, pound for pound, the most evil, not even evil, like, awful. No, that's the worst one. That is actually the worst thing I've covered on this channel. That is the worst. I'm not even gonna lie. SCP-4666. The Yule Man. I do not like that it ended in 666. I'm just gonna admit it right now. I'm seeing a dude standing in a snowy distance. It looks like there's Christmas lights out. This one was... Let me tell you why I'm actually not looking forward to this one. Because this was the most suggested one. Okay? The Yule Man was the most suggested one, and there was a comment. I'm sorry I don't remember your name. And it said, bro is gonna have a run for his money when he covers the Yule Man. And you know what? I'm so competitive that I'm actually just gonna cover it out of pity. But, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do this. We're getting into this, okay? No lies. SCP-466, referred to as the Yule Man, is a minor antagonist in the SCP series and is a humanoid figure that travels around the world killing families and kidnapping children because of his ability to teleport at will. It is with extreme difficulty to contain. He is classified as Keter by the Foundation, so that means they just can't contain him. Okay, here we go, boys. Let's get into it. Let's get it. Appearance. Though little photographic video material exists of the Yule Man, reports have described him as appearing as an extremely tall humanoid appearing to resemble an elderly male with white hair. I don't like old people, okay? So this is an old hoboish looking old dude that eats children. That's what I'm hearing, and fuck that, bro. Reports and survivors claim that the Yule Man is always completely nude regardless of weather or conditions. Oh, no. Listen. If you are a young... Actually, don't take my advice on this one, but I'm going to say it otherwise. Let me tell you something. Would you be more scared if it's like the week before Christmas? You have all your lights out, so the outside is kind of illuminated. And there's a field in your front yard. You're living by, fields, right? Completely barren because the harvest season already happened. And then you see just this black silhouette of, an entity that's in the field, around a football field away. And you don't really see anything because it's just black and silhouette. And then you get your binoculars out. And you see a 67-year-old man packing a hog on him, just watching you from the distance. No! Okay? No! Listen. I said it once, I said it again. Somebody came up with a name for it, and I'm going to use it. I'm sorry, I'm trademarking this. There are two ways to solve this issue. The prayer way and the American way. At this point, the American way is going, okay? I'm going to pop up a quick prayer, simply saying, May the Lord bless me with good aim so I could cap this brother, okay? And then we're going from a distance. That is what we're doing at this point, okay? No. Whew, okay, let's get into this. The earwig one still F's with me, bro. That was meth. Fingerprints have been discovered at investigated locations, though the exhibit properties not found in humans, such as double war pattern. Ooh, hair has been found, though the DNA did not belong to any known creature, human or animal. His teeth marks also do not match any known creature. Oh, come on, dude. This is effed up. This is effed up, bro. We're gonna get into it. Possible origins, SCP-5925. The Yule Man was originally one of the many names belonging to that SCP, one of the fairies from SCP-4000, but was able to gather a number of names which transformed him into Santa Claus. However, after he lost a number of his name, one of his evil names manifested as the Yule Man, who began kidnapping and forcing them to make toys out of bodies of fellow This is an evil variant of Santa Claus, and it forces children to make toys out of other children. What? This is gonna get so bad. That's such a weird origin, but it's so crazy that I'm actually not even mad about it. Discovery. The Yule Man was first brought to the Foundation attention in 1974 when anomalous properties were first witnessed by the Foundation personnel, and the stories were first recorded. The reports of the entity date back to circa 1498. Okay, so like Krampus. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that this is like a modern version of Krampus. Web and media traffic is monitored by the SCP Foundation, and forces are deployed if a family is suspected of being targeted by the Yule Man. All reports of killings are falsified to appear of a non-anomalous home invasion murders with evidence confiscated. Despite this, the Yule Man has yet to be taken into custody. So they can't even, they know that he'll attack certain people, they just can't stop him, which is, again, terrifying. In 2018, a Wise Not event in Hoona, Alaska. Also, you Alaskans, bro, you guys have, the worst cryptids. Y'all always go missing. Alaska terrifies me. I just want to say that again. Produced a large doll made from an emaciated body of a child. However, the child named Ektrina Morozova, age 7, was still alive, though unconscious. She was rushed to a hospital where she was interviewed by the Foundation researcher. She told him that she, along with many other children, were abducted in a bag after being forced to watch their families being, oh my god, murdered. But they were then brought underground to a series of tunnels where the Yule Man forced them to make the toys out of the body of parts of their abductees with minimal substance for years. If they stopped working at any time, even by falling asleep, they were denied food and water and were... Oh my god, bro. They were tortured by being hit, burned, beaten, or cooked alive, bro, in a furnace and devoured in front of other slaves. However, bro, this Santa Claus doesn't give a fuck about elves union. There's no elf unions, bro. We would like higher wages. Bro, eat them. Throw them in a furnace. I'm trying to keep this lighthearted, but damn, dude. We're going hard. We're going hard right now. This reminds me of the Tommy Taffy third parent story that I talked about a while ago. But, bro. However, when a child is no longer able to make toys, they are added to the materials used to make them. Morozova got sick and could no longer work, so SCP-466 had the others, particularly mutilate her and make her into a doll. Oh my gosh. Rendered her unconscious until she was delivered to the next family and rushed to the hospital. However, only 18 hours after her discovery, Morozova died from multiple organ failures resulting in severe malnourishment. Behavior and procedure. The Yule Man only becomes active for 12 nights every year on the 12th day of Christmas. Oh, no. From the night of December 21st to December 22nd, the night of January 1st to January 2nd, manifesting and seemingly teleporting to any location above 40 degrees latitude, where he will designate a household and a family, always with one or more small children under the age of 7. Okay, this is gonna get rough, I already know. Reports state that the 1st through 7th nights of the Yule Man active period, termed Wise Not events, the children on the household will catch sight of the Yule Man around their abode. Standing in the distance, occasionally children will wake at night and see a figure standing outside their windows, watching them sleep. Oh no, bro. On the 8th through 11th nights of the activity, the entire family, including adults, will report hearing footsteps on their roofs and their attics, as well as a putrid smell emanating from an unknown source. Many reports say that the families describe an experience to be similar to that of a haunting and may assume him to be such. On the 12th and final night of the activity, one of two scenarios will occur. The first, which is the most common, all members of the victimized family will be incapacitated, restrained, and herded into a single room, where the Yule Man will proceed to murder all members in front of each other, with the exception of one child, which will be abducted. The methods of incapacitation, restraining, and killing vary of each other. The murder victims are always... What the... Bro. Tortured to death, with every member of the family dying in the same manner. In the second scenario, having occurred 15% in recorded Wekna events, no harm will come to the family, footsteps will be heard, but no sign, forced entry will be found. In the morning, children will wake up to find toys at the feet of their beds, crudely crafted, and remains of deceased human children. Exactly how the Yule Man determines the outcome of these events is currently unknown. I'm actually, because of all these instances, I'm going to hold this for later, okay? I might actually make a video about this later. This video is already going on too long. I love this one, dude. It's... Now, are we going a little bit too into snuff with some of, like, the stuff? And it makes toys out of the bodies of children. Like, that's a little bit cheesy, I'll admit. But damn, did that not have a strong hook. It played into the creature. I really like that. I like that. I really do. I might do a little Christmas Yule Man special, okay? Like, that might be I'm gonna put that in my pocket. I'm gonna hold that for a later video. I did not expect to like that as much as I did. That's cool. S tier. I dig it. I really do dig that one. SCP-2901. The Mothman. Let's go, boys. Don't worry. A Mothman will get a few other videos, but I want to look at the SCP Foundation's version of it. The Mothman, SCP-2901, more commonly known as the Mothman, are collectively a UK class. Ooh, so there's a few of them. SCP with a potential antagonist of the SCP Foundation. They are a collection of reality warping creatures that usually appear in a specific area before disasters strike there. Though they are not openly hostile by nature, humans, unluckily enough to find and encounter the creature, will still be viciously attacked by them. Okay, so they're just dicks. Based off the real myth. Okay, history. The origins of the SCP are the same as the actual mythology surrounding the Mothman. An instance was seen in West Virginia, USA, over the Silver Bridge collapse in 1967. This information, however, is obscured by the SCP Foundation in the actual article. From this point onward, many Mothman instances are seen in roughly a month or a week before the disaster occurs. Disasters that usually result in many fatalities throughout history, the SCPs have been able to detect when a disastrous event will occur, as well as the amount of fatalities it will bring. When multiple instances of the SCP appear in one area, they have been reported to fight each other with territorial aggression. The SCP Foundation had discovered that simply knowing about the SCP can help bring it into existence. Oh, so it's like a cognito hazard. So, like, thinking about it will manifest it into reality. I like that. Because of this, the SCP has begun efforts to control and manipulate any information regarding the SCP's existence. This includes any mention of the SCP through various forms of media. When the SCP was first discovered by the Foundation, it was classified as Keter, as this was before the Foundation knew about controlling information about the SCP could lessen its presence. The Foundation has also attempted to turn the public's opinion of SCP into a more docile, manageable concept rather than the most malevolent view that the public has of the creature. Any civilians that know of the creature are given amnestics, and any media reporting of the creature are also hastily deleted. So that means Wendigoon is canonically, in the SCP lore, an agent of the SCP Foundation spreading propaganda to make us think the Mothman is a good person. I love that actually makes sense in the lore of SCP. I really do. Behavior. The intelligence of the creature appears to be limited, as though they are not openly hostile to humans. They can still be provoked. Something simply being near the creature is still enough to provoke them. They do not speak or seem to communicate in any way. Interactions between the SCP instances and humans have ranged from oddly inexplicable, extremely horrific. Any humans near the Mothman instance can bring an instance of perceive the human as a threat, regardless of what the human was doing beforehand. When in an aggressive state, the Mothman instances can turn into a large nebulous-like body to ward off potential threats. The SCP instances near each other will fight each other, as they can be heavily territorial. The instances will also feed off deceased human remains after a disaster has occurred. Exactly why these instances behave the way they do is unknown, but it can be speculated that they simply want to feed off disaster victims. Okay, you lost me near the end, but at the same time, I dig it. I'm gonna put it... Okay, how about this? I'm gonna put it A tier. Yeah, I'm gonna put it at the bottom of A tier. I like that. I really do like that. SCP-3166 Gorefield. Woo-wee. Let's get it. Let's get this. SCP-3166, also labeled as, "You have no idea how alone you are, Garfield." Oh, why did that go kind of hard? Why did that go actually kind of hard? Let's see this. Biography. The first documentation of the manifestation of Gorefield was on October 23rd, 1989. This date was when a depressing version of the Garfield comic was released, although the universe of the SCP mythos, all of those involved in making the comics had no memory of making this particular comic. Oh, that's a cool beginning. The fact that it was like some like Cthulhu-like entity that manifested his own existence like a birth into the public psyche by convincing the creators of a cartoon to release a cartoon they don't remember. I like that. The SCP wandered around the offices of United Media in Chicago, seemingly confused. The creature then attacked anyone it came close to after security attempted to subdue the creature. 20 minutes after this, the SCP demanifested, and the Foundation gave amnestics to all those involved in cover up the incident. Appearance. Gorefield is a humanoid entity that takes on the form of the character Garfield, although appears as a more crudely made costume. The entity is 2.1 meters tall. Although the entity looks as though it's someone in a crudely made costume, this is actually the SCP's true appearance. The entity's exterior is cat fur, although its interior is made of lasagna. What? The behavior and procedure of the SCP only appears when the Gorefield franchise is doing poorly or as a rival company or former employee does damage to the franchise in any way. Even those who parody Garfield may not be safe from the entity. Gorefield will manifest itself in a specific location and will seek out for the following targets. Individuals prominently involved in the rival media of the Garfield franchise. Individuals formerly involved in the production of the Garfield comic strip. Individuals involved in parodies of the Garfield franchise, vocal critics of the Garfield franchise, and Garfield creator Jim Davis. It just singles out the dude who made Garfield. What? When Gorefield reaches its target, it will inflict a bodily harm on them in any way it can. With the two most common methods, it would be with any nearby objects to beat the target, and the second being force feeding of lasagna, which the SCP obtains from its own... Okay, I'm sorry. What? You're telling me... Imagine you are, like, competing against Garfield, bro. And then Garfield just strolls out of a fucking alleyway with a baseball bat and then just fucking jumps you. And as you're like, please, just take the money, he just, like, opens up its mouth, grabs some, like, hot lasagna, and he's like, please, no! Grabs the back of your head and starts force-feeding you lasagna out of its mouth. And you're, like, tears in your eyes. And then you're like, please, no more. You're, like, vomiting the lasagna out. And then I imagine it has, like, a deep-ass voice, and he's like, you will never speak badly of Garfield again. He's like, what? And then just hits you one more time with a baseball bat, bro. That's what I thoughts on this thing right now. Okay, I'm sorry. This is dumb, but I dig it. Gorefield doesn't seem to share the personality traits of the very character it's based on. Unlike the original Garfield, who is witty, snarky, selfish, lazy, and comical, the SCP is purely uncommunicative and violent. The only trait the original character in the SCP share is its love of lasagna. Okay, bro, what am I reading right now? Gorefield doesn't seem to speak or attempt to communicate with others in anywhere. The entity seems to have the same intelligence of a cat, making hissing and purring sounds during the time it manifests and attacks others. The only direct look at the SCP's nature is the violent tendencies it has in the Garfield franchise, it not doing well, showing its anger and obsession over the... So it just fucking jumps people who don't like Garfield? I'm sorry, bro. It's dumb... D tier. D tier, but in a loving way. I like D tier in a loving way. Do I like it? Yeah. But I'm not putting it higher, bro. I'm not doing that, okay? It had fun. I like covering it. But comparing it to the others, there's no compare. And there you go. That is part 2 of the SCP tier list. Thank you, everybody who comes and support my channel. It means the absolute most to me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. Copy the link so they share it in the algorithm, which really helps me. And comment any other SCP or any other video that you would like me to cover. And with all that out of the way, all I gotta say is thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time. Adios, guys.